Yes, I got married. I've always used content creation and all the different platforms that I'm on to kind of document my journey and my life. And it's the reason why a lot of you have over the years come to like me or be invested into my story. So I just wanted to kind of give you guys this video today to explain a lot of things, answer some questions that you guys might have, and also to tell you what's going to happen next. So first question on everyone's minds that I'm sure that you're all wondering, when did you get engaged? So me and Laura actually got engaged last year on our 1-year anniversary. And the reason why we decided to keep everything private until the actual day of the marriage was because making things public in the first place is what ended up putting this huge strain on the relationship that never should have been there to begin with. For those who have been watching for years, you'll know that a focal point of my personality over the course of those years was the fact that I was always this guy on his Sigma grind, just grinding his love for a game and trying to inspire others to do the same while doing so. A lot of you might have guessed, especially from the car talk videos or even the talk with Dr. K, that while this ideation of working and grinding and all this kind of stuff kept me motivated to keep going, it didn't make me happy. Every day for years, when I would end my stream, one of two things would happen. If it was a good stream, I would feel a temporary happiness, and then I would tell myself that tomorrow would have to be better. And if it was a bad stream, I would hate everything and everyone around me, and I wouldn't even want to exist until I was able to do another stream again to make right what went wrong. It almost felt like I wasn't working or grinding to live, but rather living to work and grind. And when you get so caught up in public perception and how people are going to view you, impressions, likes, views, or whatever metric you want to use, it just ends up taking over your entire life. Hey, babe. Good morning. Like how cool she looks. Where was I? Over the course of years from the time I was like 17 until I guess 21, I kind of really involved myself in this idea that I was nothing more than a vessel to work, to grind, and to one day be able to provide for my family. And it was really when I met Laura back when I was 21, a little over 2 years ago now, that I really did view it as like a once in a lifetime opportunity. And it felt almost like I was at a crossroads. Do I go down this path that I know will be good for me on a surface level in terms of what I can gain in a material sense, whether it be viewers, whether it be money, whether it be people getting invested in my story? Or do I go down a path where I don't know what's going to happen, where I wouldn't have, I guess, a control over what my future would become, but I knew did have the potential to make me happy? And the truth is, it wasn't getting in a relationship that made me care about League less. It was the fact that for years my main motivator was my insecurity. It was that if I am not the best, I will be left for someone that is. And the only thing that getting in a truly loving relationship did was alleviate me of that insecurity. But by doing so, it made me have to reassess why I was doing things the way I was doing them. And that's something that, to a certain degree, is still there. And I don't think it'll ever really leave, trying to find purpose, trying to find motivation, trying to find reasons why you do the things you do. But it has lessened greatly. So I know what you're all thinking. What does this have to do with keeping the wedding and the engagement and all that stuff private? Well, the truth is that the reason why the breakup, over a year ago now, even ended up happening in the first place wasn't because I didn't see a future with me and Laura, and it wasn't because there were these like glaring red flags that I couldn't ignore, or it wasn't because I was unhappy in the relationship that I had. It was because I was so fearful that I wouldn't be able to succeed anymore without my insecurity that I was willing at the time to lose the best and only real relationship that I've ever had to go back to a life where I'd be again focused on materialism. And reading comments every day about how I had fallen off, or that I didn't care about the game anymore, or that now that I had a girlfriend, that's what was affecting me negatively and that I was too happy. These were all comments I didn't ignore, I just stored them. And it got to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And one of my biggest regrets is actually making the breakup as big as it was and making it as public as it was, because the truth is it didn't have to be. And from that situation, a bunch of other things were brought up by others that never should have been made public in the first place, which led to me wanting to withdraw even more. To talk candidly for a second, when it did come to the whole abortion situation, that was something that I hated myself for. And to then have a lot of people also come out of the woodwork and feed that image with hate comments or I guess death threats or things that they would say against me or Laura, it just really made me hate myself. For years, being able to document my journey in content creation and make people get to know me was something that never had any drawbacks. Because if I was open about who I am and people like that or resonate with it, then it's a good thing, because then they can be inspired by my story or even find some kind of similarity within it. And if there's someone that didn't like who I was, then I could always just say, it is what it is. They just don't like my way of expressing myself, but there are always going to be people that don't like me. But when you have something traumatic that's going to happen to you and those who you love around you, and you're still processing and you don't know how to deal with it, and then someone goes out of their way to publicize it in a way to maliciously attack you and direct hatred and negativity to you and those you love and care about, even still to this day, then it just makes you want to withdraw. And I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that over the last year, I haven't really talked about my life that much, and I haven't really talked about what's going on that much. And it really is just because I think over the last over a year now, I've been still trying to come to grips, and it's because there was already so much internal and external negativity that I just didn't want the possibility for there to be even more. Thankfully nowadays, with a lot of Laura's encouragement, I do feel a little more comfortable talking about these things, and I have also spoken to my therapist about it too, and even some family and friends, so it is a lot easier to deal with, but for a long time it really wasn't. And the truth is, I really don't think I was okay. I internalized so much of it that even now one of the biggest things that I do want to work towards is the fact that I don't really feel emotion. Like something can happen in front of me and then it takes me so long to process it, and it's either that I don't process it at all, or that I'll feel like a brick wall until I get a split second where that emotion and feeling actually washes through me, and then it just goes away after and the wall comes back. But I'm sure that at least one of you out there is going through something similar or can resonate with this story in a way that it might help you, or might help you come to terms with things, or accept that maybe you need help coming to terms with things. So for that reason, I do feel comfortable sharing it, because that's what I've always done, and I don't want to change that. So just to circle back a little bit, the reason why we didn't want to tell anybody about the marriage or the wedding was just because we really didn't want to invite any negativity at all. And one of the things that me and Laura are both seeing, and that we are very thankful for, is the fact that there doesn't seem to be all that much. Fingers crossed, obviously. But there have been a lot of really nice, really heartwarming comments, and those comments do mean a lot. So for anyone that has already or will make nice ones, thank you guys for that. Because I know that you guys are going to hear this a lot, but I am really just like you, you know? Like, I know that a lot of you are going to kind of open up YouTube, or you're going to open up a stream, or you're going to open up Twitch, whatever it might be, right? You're going to open it and you're going to see that content creator. But in the same way that you kind of like grew up thinking that your teacher was like just your teacher and they didn't have anything going on at home, and then as you grow you realize, oh wait, there's a lot more that happens behind the scenes as well. It's kind of the same with content creators too, you know? Like right now, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I'm saying the right things. I don't know if I'm expressing things the right way. All I'm doing is I'm a guy sitting in front of a camera right now with 2 monitors in front of me, and I'm just expressing myself the way that I always have. So anyways, now that's out of the way, there is something that I have always wanted to do since becoming a content creator, and it's actually upload a wedding video. So within the next like week or 2 weeks, I'm working with the videographer that actually recorded everything at the wedding, you know, like the me, Laura, getting ready, you know, the actual venue, the church service, all of that stuff. And I'm going to be posting it so that you guys can share a little bit in that special day as well. Because I think it really is kind of a cool thing that for those of you that have been around for a while, you've been able to kind of see the whole journey. Like, you've been able to see the kind of person I was at 18, the things I went through back then, the kind of person I was at 19, things I went through back then, leading up all the way to now being 23. And if I can share a little bit more to kind of give you guys hope for the future, if you need it, or insight into my life if you want it, that I think that would be a really nice thing to do. in regards to future content, no, I'm not going to retire from streaming. No, I'm not going to stop full clearing 8 hours a day. But I do want to say that I know that a lot of you have noticed that I was very distracted when it comes to League nowadays, and I have been for months now. And part of the big reason why that was because of the wedding planning. Because for fuck's sake. Wait, give me a second. Because for those of you who don't know, because I didn't, planning a wedding isn't really just like, oh, let's find the flowers, the church, the venue, and then we're going to be set. It's a lot more than that. To give you an example, let's say you want to find a DJ. First thing you have to do is look for one. Once you have the numbers, you have to do the calls. Once you do the calls, you need to set up the meetings. Once you do the initial meetings, you need to make your selection. And then once you make your selection, you're not done. Because then you have to provide so much information back and forth and getting ready for the day of the event and all that kind of stuff, that there are some email strings that I have with some of the vendors and the service providers for the wedding that literally span anywhere between 50 to 60 emails. And that doesn't include calls or Zoom calls or anything like that. So for legitimately the last, I would say 6 months now, it has been this constant thing of, you know, I used to just be like, all right, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to get home, I'm going to stream, and then I'm going to watch shows until I go to bed with Laura. And it became, all right, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to make 3 different calls to these different people. Then while I'm streaming, these guys are only available at this time. So then I'm going to have to call this guy at that time during my stream. And then after stream, I'm going to have 2 appointments to go to do things in person. And then I also need to make more calls and then clarify other things with this. And that spanned literal months. And you can imagine that then going to Korea for a month and just no-lifing the stream there made everything way more hectic when I came back here too. So for any of you that might be thinking, oh, he lost the passion to upload or he lost the passion to stream, he's been doing short hours or he hasn't been doing as many videos a week, trust me, it is not because I didn't want to, it's simply just because I really didn't have the time. But the good news is that now that all that is behind us and that we are done, I'm excited that we're going to finally be able to really deliver on a good content plan going forward. So that's why starting in November, we're going to be beginning with what was promised during the subathon, which was a RE Duo cosplay with my wife. And then we are also going to be leading into a jungle A to Z. So trying to win a game with every single champion in the game, starting with the letter A all the way into the letter Z. I really don't know how long that is going to take, but I hope it's not as long as I think it could be. Later towards the end of the month, I'll also be doing the Elden Ring DLC marathon as well, since I did promise that to you guys. So anyways, I do want to end this video off just by thanking you guys all. Not just for always being a part of this journey, but also for always being willing to kind of like hear me out, you know? Because at the end of the day, I'm not like owed anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm just a guy online. And the fact that so many people are kind of willing to sit there and listen to me and hear me out and give a chance for my story to be heard, it's honestly really amazing. So thank you guys for that. But with all that being said, that's enough yapping for today, because I do have some jungles to full clear. Anyways, I'll see you guys all for the next video. Peace.